Hello and welcome, and I really do apologise about the lateness of this, the start of the stream. I just had a really strange error occur right beforehand, and it's obviously not helped it out at all. But we are, give me a second, we are live at the Hungarian Grand Prix for round 12 of the W2W season. The tier 1 season, that is. Get rid of you because we're about to jump into the game, and we'll keep that on for a second. I'll be back in a second. Right, we are back, and once again I do apologise. The issue which just occurred there, it's just kind of caught me off guard, and I think everyone who was planning for the stream to happen was kind of caught off guard as well. But we have managed to make it in time for this session. Fortunately, only 12 drivers by the look of it, so quite a short field, but like in Germany, it can be very easy to pick up points for this race today. 35 laps around the Hungaroring, located not far away from Budapest. We have hopefully a good race on our hands. Hungary has always been a... Okay, oh, as my screen went black, you're kidding me on. Why are things just playing up? Right, that should be it. Oh, this isn't half stressful. Right, the graphics should be back up. Again, you haven't missed much anyway. The drivers have just jumped in. There we go, that is nice. We do finally have some graphics. And yeah, it's going to be a mixture of soft to hard tyres, and it will be a dry qualifying for this session. We'll have to maybe do the pre-show while we're in qualifying, so I'll maybe be quick. We do have the 12 drivers in for this race today. So your main championship contenders, you've got your Nick, you've got Real, Schwab, Silver, Shaddy, Hexter. They're all showing up, which I suppose is the main thing. Obviously they have a championship to contend with. We'll have a look at the driver standings, and we do see as we see actually in the back when Ken Worthington heading out. I will get back to the qualifying shortly, but we do have Nick up in front with 173 points from Shadi, who has closed the gap in from Germany to 16 points now, 1-6. We have Rio, who has also closed the gap to 58 points, but I think the man of the moment is Schwalbe, currently 4th position in the McLaren, who is 70 points behind the championship leader, but he only has completed 5 races compared to Nick's 11. So Schwalbe obviously a second, a first, a second, a third, and a first, with the only one DNF in Monaco for his debut race. So he is on a charge with his form. We have Hickster 5th with 87 points in silvers, and not that far behind in 6th, with Ken Worthington being the best of the rest currently. There is a bit of a gap between 6th and 7th. We do have a couple of tasty battles for the driver standings. We'll maybe have a look into that a little bit more later. We'll quickly jump into constructors before we actually continue. We do have a couple of drivers starting the flying laps, but we will catch that by the end of my speech, in a sense. So constructors, we currently have Mercedes still in top with 240 points, but McLaren are pulling back with 204, 36 points behind, with Red Bull 188 points. So that is basically the championship battle, the top 3 teams, McLaren, Mercedes and Red Bull. We have still a great battle for 4th team Toro Rosso and Williams, 5 points of a difference between these two drivers. And we also have a decent battle for 8th between the Racing Point, the Renault and Alfa Romeo, only 7 points of a difference between these 3 teams. So we will keep an eye out on some of the teams later on today, but finally we get ourselves into the qualifying session. Luckily we haven't missed any laps being put in, so we'll actually have to see who puts the first lap time in. It looks like Bosno is in the hard tyres for the server of 120.2. He has the benchmark. Let's see who can go faster. It's going to be Mandrop behind with the 122.4 in the Racing Point. So that is a big difference actually between Bosnois and Mandrop. Maybe Mandrop has made a mistake with Jaime now. I was going to say Jaime, it was Ken Worthington, his teammate, which is taking provisional pole there with an 18-1, make it Schwalbe with a 17-5. So already the pace is now getting shown by one of our championship contenders, Schwalbe with 17.5 on the hard tyres. Now there is a mixture of softs and hards, with the majority obviously being on hards. You can understand why, as much as this is a 35 lap race. Similar to Germany, the soft tyres are very quick compared to the medium and hard tyres, but they do not last as long as others do not last as long as what other soft tyres would be. 10 laps is the expected life expectancy from what the game has told me for soft tyres, which after qualifying trim would be roughly 7 laps. The hard tyres will last 30 laps, and if anyone wants to take the medium tyres outside the top 10, it's going to be 23 laps. Let's have a look to see if there's anyone else putting a lap in. We have Mandrop, who's improved this time up to an 18.7, so that's a very good lap, so that does confirm a mistake there from Mandrop. Hickster's 5th, missed his lap completely, a 19.1 in his first lap in the hard tyres. We have our championship leader Nick going through sector 1. We have Archer about to cross the line. Let's have a look to see if he does a good time. The answer is no, because it's invalidated time. Locktap's next to cross the line in the Ferrari, and that is an invalidated lap too, so that's very interesting. I feel like it is quite hard to get an invalidated lap time around here, but that's impressive how they can do that, I suppose. We have Rio, who's jumped into second place with 1:17.6. Let's have a look at our championship leader. What can he do coming round the last turn? Can he make an impression and put himself up in front? It's pole position currently, 17.23 tenths in front of the McLaren with 12 minutes to go, a cracking lap from a championship leader. Quite frankly, something that he needs. His qualifying hasn't been on point the last couple of races, and has really caused his last couple of races to be damage limitation, where I think this is a really good chance for Nick to potentially get himself at least a podium for the race. So we currently have 4 drivers who have yet to make a proper flying lap. Looks like Archer and Locktaps are heading into the pits, but Silvers will be the next person to put a lap time in as we join them at entering sector 3 and backs off. So the assumption I must assume then is that he made an error in his lap and he's decided not to take the softs. So 10 minutes to go. We have a mixture of everyone. Maybe we're actually looking onto the mediums. We have Bosno is actually out in the mediums. Same with Mandrop. So obviously with I should mention actually tyre deltas. So soft tyres obviously been the fastest. Always handed here to Bosnois, and he's broken his front wing. That's not a really good result. At least he's still active in this qualifying session, but that's really bad timing considering he has to go around all of this lap in order to get himself back into the pits, and at least he gets out of Archer's way, who's still out on 4-lap old tyres, maybe testing to see how far these tyres could possibly go into the race for him, so he can maybe put on a new set of softs. So going back to my point, the soft tyres obviously being the fastest tyre has a 1.2 second delta difference between themselves and the mediums, with the hards being 1.9 seconds of a difference between the softs and obviously the hards. So even with medium tyres there is a big difference between them, so if anyone does go on to the mediums, it could be a possibility. One stop, more or less looking for a one stop strat. Either way it's going to be soft to hards or medium to hards. If we are looking at people taking the soft tyre or what would be the hard tyre, we'll be expecting hard tyre runners to possibly enter the pits around lap 27-28 if it was on the softs. Obviously we'll maybe be expecting them around the lap 6, lap 7 if they can make it that far. Let's actually see about Shari, because I believe he is on a flying lap. No, he's on a warm-up lap. Do we have Real on a lap? No, he's on an in lap. So a little bit stagnated for the qualifying session for the time being. We will get a flying lap from someone hopefully. As for the alternate strategy, if anyone does start in the mediums, we'll be expecting them to be in around lap 17 and take on the hard tyres lap 18. Now obviously with the tyre difference, tyre delta being that massive between the softs and the hards, it's understandable why you would maybe want to take the hards to begin with, take the punishment now, be fast later. But at the same time, me personally, I do think the medium tyres are a very good call around this track, the mediums to hards. As we see actually Locktats, who we are joining, heading into sector 2. Put a 27.3 in. Oh, and he loses control and the front wing has gone. Luckily he has not damaged the car enough to have to retire. That's very unfortunate for Locktaps. Have a look to see anyone else. We have Silvers on a lap on the hard tyres. We'll go on board with him then. But yes, I do think medium tyres are the probably more beneficial idea to take off the softs. You'll be taking less of a punishment during the mid stint of the race. But we do see Silvers on the hard tyres entering the last corner. And let's see if he can put himself up in the... Yes, he's fourth. Fourth with 17.9 now. We do have a couple more people, by the look of it, heading possibly out on the medium tyres. We have Real and Schwal, both McLarens, on the mediums. Mandrop still on the mediums, showing Boz Noise hasn't changed. We still have Shadi, who's on the outlap on the medium tyres. So it looks like possibly mediums is the shout. 6 minutes to go in this qualifying session. Real did improve his time actually to put himself second, only 1/10 of a second between the front row of the grid basically. We have Mandrop out on the lap. We have Shari, who has crashed on an outlap and broken his front wing, so this has not worked out well for the second place in the championship. Not at all. Again, he's got enough time at least for maybe one more run, especially with front wing damage. That's kind of costing at least a second run. We have Silvers entering the pits, so it looks like Mandrop will be the first person to put a lap time out. Let's miss Boz Noise. No, so Mandrop will be the first person to put a lap time out in what could be potentially the last runs of the qualifying session, with the majority of the field still in the pits. So we'll actually go on board with Mandrop and maybe take a lap around the circuit heading into turn 1. Almost hitting 200 miles an hour as we enter the corner. Very, very hot. Manages to keep it on track, however. Might lose some time here, but he is on the medium tyres. He can gain some back as fast as lap was with the hards. Entering turn 3. Nice and neat so far. We're heading into sector 1. That's an improvement as well with that mistake. As it goes wide, I think that's an invalidated lap. We'll assume it's not, because he is still attacking, heading into the chicane of 6 and 7. Nice and neat so far, heading into turn 8 and 9, one of my favourite sections of this course. That definitely is an off track there. And that is an aborted qualifying lap there from Mandrop, unfortunately. He might have time if he goes into the pit straight away to potentially maybe get another run with fresh tyres, but I think he might be setting himself up for a run on these medium tyres. Let's have a look to see if anyone else is on a lap. Well, the majority of people are now on outlaps on the medium tyres by the look of it. Nick still in the pits with hard tyres, still fitted onto the car. So we have Luck Taps, who's the only person now on a flying lap unless he's made a mistake and I missed that. But Luck Taps will actually catch the rest of the lap, because he has now passed where we left off, heading into turn 11 and the end of sector 2. Let's see if Luck Taps improves his time. Obviously he's not got a time to improve, so it's 54.6 heading into turn 12, and the long left-hander 13. Bit of a tank slapper there heading the exit of 12 there. Manages to control it perfectly, but that has possibly cost him some time. A little bit wide into 14, but obviously that's to get him the best exit out of that corner and gets himself in pole position. A 1:16.6 in the soft tyres, a very good lap indeed. 2.5 minutes to go. We have Nick, who's going on the medium tyres, so it will be a mixture of mediums and soft tyres for our runners by the look of it. Shadi yet to put a lap in with 2 minutes to go. He's running out of time. He really only has one opportunity and needs to get himself out of the pits as of now to make sure he's safe. And it looks like the Mercedes guys are ready to get both drivers out. Let's have a look at Real. He'll be coming into the end of sector 2. Can he improve on his medium tyres? The answer is no. And Schwalb has a slow lap as well, and is starting his lap in 0 as Luck Taps retires from the session. So that's Luck Taps over and done with, as Hexter does as well. So I do not know if the Mercedes drivers are coasting around, trying to make sure that the track is clear for their last laps. They will be able to make it to the end of this lap with time to spare and put another lap time in. We have Mandrop, who is on a out in lap 17.8, so he has improved his time and put himself up into 5th, so a very good qualifying for the Racing Point. We have Ken Worthington on a flying lap as well. We have Nick. I think Nick might be out of time here. I'll have to keep an eye on that. I think he's run out of time. But yes, Ken Worthington 7th currently. Bosno's in the pits, and I think that's his qualifying over and done with. Ken Worthington is half a second up on his time currently. He can possibly get himself into the 17s and maybe have a little bit of an upset, at least for Silvers, who's on an out lap, but he's on the soft tyres, so we might expect Silvers to be top step of pole position by the end of this. 20 seconds to go. A great lap from Ken Worthington, 17.2, absolutely brilliant. So we have Real about to start his lap. We have Schwab actually on the end of his lap. Let's see if he actually improves his time. The answer is yes. 3 tenths up after sector 1. He might have a shout in this battle for pole here. Silver's 6 tenths up after sector 1. Obviously on these soft tyres will be better. Mandrop retires from the session. His qualifying session is over and done with. Jaime 4 tenths up after sector 2. This will be an improvement for Jaime if he keeps this going. We have Archer, who puts himself up into 6th, ahead of Jaime currently. He needs to hopefully have a good race to get close to Ken Worthington. Jaime puts himself up into 9th place. With an 18.3, we have Shadi, who's went wide. Shadi starts from the back. Now that's maybe not a bad thing for Shadi, but looks like he is struggling. Nick manages to get a lap time in, manages to sneak in. Schwab crosses the line first though. Schwab 16.3 on the mediums, a cracking lap for the German. The next up to compete for that then is Real, but no, Real has either made a mistake, 2 seconds slow, so he will not improve. So it might be up to Nick now, half a second up after sector 2. He needs to gain at least another half second this last sector, otherwise it might be at least it might be second, but he's certainly not going to get pole at this rate. He will be at the last to cross line and he stops. So he is 4th and he starts in the hard tyres. That's very, very clever from Nick, but he might end up biting him at the start of this race. We'll have to find out, but that's qualifying officially over, and we have our results. So we have Schwab once again taking another pole position. We have Luttatz in 2nd, only person on the soft tyres, so a very good lap there from Luttatz. Ken Worthington in 3rd with the medium tyres. Nick the first of the hard tyre runners in 4th. Real in 5th. We have Archer in 6th. Mandrop 7th. 8th is Silvers. Jaime is 9th. 10th is Boas Noise, and we have Hexter and Shari, who starts from the back, taking the last 2 positions. Now we've seen Shari do spectacular things from the back of the grid. We can mention obviously Britain was a great example of that. I wouldn't expect that to not be the case here today. I wouldn't be surprised if he can maybe get himself at least into the top 5. He certainly does have the pace, but it looks like it will be a dry qualifying, dry race as well, so that probably helps a lot of the drivers out as well. So we're going to have 20 seconds until the race starts, and then it will be a formation lap. So we'll quickly have a look to see what Hexter and Shari has picked for tyres. both on the hard tyres, which again from the back they may as well, at worst, if they're going for the soft tyres at the end, especially for Shaddy in particular, getting a fastest lap point here would obviously maybe help damage limitation if Nick has a good result here. I always find this tactic very, very interesting from Schwalbe. He just guns it. Just making sure that everyone in front basically just not got time to warm up the tyres properly. It's a strange technique, but it works. That's the main thing, and I think I actually fairly enjoy it. It's a very clever tactic from Schwalbe. But we are heading into 35 laps. There's a big gap between Shaddy and Schwalbe. Obviously the leaders are now bunching up, which is obviously going to help Schwalbe there. A lovely side the UI there. That's a lovely shot, even if it is 12 drivers as we just miss it. That was a lovely shot there, lovely camera angle. But yes, 35 laps heading into round 12 of this Grand Prix. So we just wait for Shaddy to line up, and then the lights will be out fairly soon. Hopefully we can get a little bit of a better camera angle than this, but that is not the case. But we do see the lights head up. We have the 5 lights already, and this race is go and lights out. I don't know who has a good start. Need this camera to get better. Yes, there we go. Schwalbe has the whole shot in front of Lottat's Ken Worthington trying to go round the outside, and contact. Championship leader has been hit from Mandrop, who got a little bit shaky there, and that is very, very unfortunate for Nick. Back of the pack already. The only good thing is that he has not lost any front wing parts and already attacking Boas Noise for 11th place. But Schwalbe takes the whole shot heading into the second sector now from Ken Worthington, who has made a place from Luttats. Mandrop now 4th, Real 5th, Silver 6th, Shaddy. What did I say about Shaddy? He does well from the back. That's 7th, already 7th. Hickster 8th as well from 11th. Very good start from him. Archer 9th, Jaime 10th, Boas Noise 11th, and unfortunately for Nick, he is last in this Grand Prix. But there is plenty of laps to make up positions. Luttats has passed Ken Worthington into turn 12, that was, as we see all the cars heading past turn 15 for the first lap, and it is a big gap to the leader and Luttats. Schwalbe already bossing this, 2-second difference between himself and Luttats after only 1 lap. We'll just have to wait for the UI to catch up and hopefully work properly in the next lap or so. Leader times are certainly wrong, but let's have a look at the back. I think for Nick, I think he might have to pray on getting some DRS for the time being, as we see someone go super wide. I think that was Archer, but anyway, it looks like the field has got itself sorted out. If anything, it has a lot of bit of gaps already, already over the back of Mandrop. Now this is a very tight track to make a pass. Realistically, your best bets of overtaking are turn 1 and turn 2, but that doesn't stop some of the drivers sometimes. But I think Buell is feeling quite racy here, as we see Jaime pass Archer for 9th place. Nick's still behind these guys. He needs to clear them as quick as he can. DRS will be open as of this lap, so this might benefit, as we see Archer in the pits. Maybe he has made a mistake here. That's one person at least away from Nick. Now, can Nick do anything about this? Slipstream does not work in his favour here. Similar to the Red Bull, it looks like this car is more suited to corners than it is to straight lines. So he definitely needs that DRS if he wants to make some moves. But a 2.5 second gap between Schwab and Luttats. We see Real go super wide and the exit of turn 3, but Mandrup still doing a good job keeping Real behind here. Same goes for Silver's keeping Shari behind. To be fair, Shari not improving since that one profit, you would say, from that incident. Still in 7th place though, so that's good. We do have a bit of a gap between himself and Hickster, and then a bit of a gap then between Hickster and Jaime. So DRS will be now enabled. We should maybe see Real go for the overtake as Schwab puts in the fastest lap in the racing. He's more or less checked out already. A very good exit from Real as he exits turn 4, and that's the pass even before we enter turn 1. So that's Real up to 4th. We have Mandrup still trying to fight back, and that's only opened the door for Silvers. Unfortunately, Silvers could not get close enough before the braking zone to have an opportunity, but he is making Mandrup know that his Mercedes is willing to pass at any moment. And this has obviously allowed Shadi to get right into the gearbox of Silvers as well. Yellow flag sector 2. We have Schwab has retired from the session. What the hell has happened? Oh my days, and that's so close from Jaime. Oh, Schwab. So by the look of it, I'm going to assume that he has lost it. He's either took too much curb in the entry of turn 4, too much in the exit of turn 4, and that's a race leader out. Nick is being promoted up to 10th now, and now we have Luttats as our leader from Ken Worthington and Real. Shari has passed Silvers as well, so maybe a little bit of team instructions there. Shari is now on the hunt for 4th place now again, as much as Silvers is still in a championship fight as well as Shari. Shari does probably have the priority considering he is in direct competition with Nick. Nick's still not been able to do any damage actually. He's not past Boas Noise. Even with DRS and Boas Noise not having DRS, he cannot get past this Silver, and this is going very, very badly for Nick. If he wants to do a good result here, especially on these hard tyres, he needs to get past as soon as possible. We have Ken Worthington actually closing the gap, so maybe these soft tyres are Silver's picks for 3-second time penalty. Shari is out, exact same place. 2nd place in the championship is out, and that is, I believe, 4th place as well in Schwab. So 2 of the championship contenders out already after lap 5. And that is unfortunate. That turn 4 is a killer by the look of it, and surprisingly no safety car for either incident. But we have Ken Worthington all over the back of Luttats. These soft tyres are dying. It shouldn't be long until Luttats will be in. I do expect roughly between either this lap or next lap. But we can see the pace of Ken Worthington really getting the DRS is open. Will he go around the outside? Will he make it stick? He will have better traction coming at the corner, going super wide, and that's actually worked out well for Ken Worthington. Again, DRS, and that Ken Worthington has passed Luttats for the lead of the race. We have Nick, who has finally passed Boas Noise using DRS, so that is Boas Noise 9th now, and Nick is 8th. He will be quite happy to, I suppose, see Shadi in the wall. His next target, I suppose, is Real in the championship. So he wants to try and take some damage limitation here. His next target is Jaime. You can already see that this Red Bull is going to be all over the back of Williams. So a bit of a gap forming, 8 seconds, the difference between the top 9 after 6 laps. It's been wider, to be fair. Unfortunately for Archer, he's kind of been exempt from that. But he's still in a position to get points. What's happened to Mandrop there? It just looked like he gravitated towards the ball to the left there, and that's him lost position. Silvers has gained a position up to 4th, and now Hixler has a look at Mandrop heading into turn 1, taking it inside, and that is an easy position, I think, for Hixler. Pushes Mandrop a little bit too wide, gives him space actually, maybe a little too friendly there. I would have maybe pushed Mandrop a little bit too far to the wide there. He did go wide after all. Side by side, oh my days, they did not touch tyres. Mandrop keeps position, well defended. We have seen Jaime being passed by Nick, so Nick is now chasing these two guys up into 7th place, so he is now starting to find his feet after lap 7, but that's Nick starting to climb up the field. 1.1 seconds the gap between Ken Worthington and Luck-Taps, and Luck-Taps obviously struggling on these soft tyres. Has Real all over him. Real playing it safe there, not wanting to go side by side into turn 1 here, but he might have a look entering turn 12. Luck-Taps giving him some space there, and that is Real up to 2nd, so that's very well done there for the McLaren driver. And now he can chase Ken Worthington without the fear of Luck-Taps, who will be entering the pits at this moment. Now he will be most likely jumping onto the hard tyres. He will be able to make it to the end of this race. Luck-Taps will 5-second penalty. That seems to happen a lot with him, unfortunately. He needs to get some practice on pit stops here. But obviously that's promoted everyone who hasn't obviously pitted a position. So we have Silvers now 3rd. We have Mandrop 4th, we got Hixler 5th, Nick 6th, 7th Jaime, and Boaz Noyes who's trying to go round the outside turn too. He's feeling a little bit racy today, and Luck-Taps is out, and he's actually well in front of Archer, so Archer looks like he will be having a lonely race by the look of it. But there is still plenty of time, things can happen, points are still on the board, and he is in within the top 10. So we have Nick all over the back of Hixler now. We do have a battle for 4th as Luck-Taps picks up the 2nd penalty, as we see an issue turn sector 2, and that is Luck-Taps with a damaged front wing, and turn 4 takes another victim. That's 3 now in 8 laps. Oh, so turn 4 is claiming more victims here. The longer we go in, so that might be worrying for some of the drivers now. Even Luck-Taps with fresh tyres cannot control the car to not hit the wall. So that's going to be quite worrying for drivers. Again, you would think that with the amount of damage, especially for Shadi and Schwab, that they might be taking that corner, maybe 90% playing it safe, but we do have a battle for 4th here. Hixler going very defensive into turn 2. This is only allowing Nick to go round the outside here. Has the inside line, a very clean move there from Nick, and that's him up to 5th. Now Mandrop has obviously gapped Nick and Hixler there from just that incident. That's obviously helped out the racing point for the time being, but don't expect that gap to be there for long. Nick is on a bit of a charge now, entering this entering the top 5. We have Real now starting to reel in Ken Worthington, half a second the gap here. So the pace of Ken Worthington is just maybe not that strong compared to Real's. But I think this has been a very good race from Ken Worthington so far. I've seen him in league races before, commentating league races before. I know he has the chance of having good performances, and I think he is due one. But he has been passed by Real, so Real takes the lead after in lap 10 in turn 1, and that demotes Ken Worthington to 2nd. Silver's 3 seconds back on the hard tyres. We have Nick already right behind Mandrop, half a second. as we see Ken Worthington back a 3-second time penalty. So as soon as I compliment, he ends up getting a penalty. As commentator's curse here, Jaime as well as a turn 4 takes another victim. That is number 4 here, and that is so unfortunate. So many front wings dying there at turn 4, but it's another survivor, I suppose. But that's Jaime having to take a pit stop on the medium tyres as well. Now he is lucky enough that he can take the hard tyres and make it to the end still. But he needs to be a little bit more careful, especially he does not want to lose any more points than he needs to. We have Hickster having a look in the inside of Nick here. Maybe, I think Nick has made a mistake because Mandrop has gapped, but we have Hickster now DRS. Nick will not have it, and the DRS is too strong, especially with Nick's setup, and that is Hickster taking inside, and he retakes 5th position. Very good from the Toro Rosso driver. So we have a bit of a lonely race now for Boas Noise. After he was battling for Jaime for the time being. I think that's him lost his little battle buddy. But there we go, side by side, Hickster and Nick, they're still battling for 5th position. Nick going very wide and not going to try and maybe go around the outside of Hickster, but that's not working. Hickster takes 5th and is defending it very, very well. As we see Nick walk up into the chicane. Obviously this little battle between them is helping Mandrop now gap. 1.6 seconds it is. We have Silver's matching times of Ken Worthington, as we see lap taps with the fastest lap of the race in so far, obviously on these fresh tyres. He unfortunately has lost even more time compared to Jaime. But this might be working out for Archer, even though he had to pit very early. It's 8th for him already. He will, I think, most likely need to pit. Possibly not if he's very, very careful, but I doubt that very much. But will maybe be someone to look at for maybe the fastest lap come the end of this race. Hickster still defending from Nick, as Nick goes on the inside here. Going side by side again, entering turn 3. This time a lot more better than Nick, and Nick makes it stick. Well done from both these guys there. Very good driving, and that's Nick back up into 5th place now. Hopefully for him he can now start gapping Hickster, or at least both of them can get closer to Mandrop. So I was about to say maybe Hickster can have a look at Nick this time with DRS, but it looks like Hickster kind of messed up his exit of 14. That's allowing Nick to get some clear air here, and Nick can more or less free of Hickster now, providing he does not make any mistakes. So Nick is on the chase for Mandrop here. Only 10 seconds away from Neil. I doubt he'll win the race, obviously Nick, but he might be in for a good shout of at least a podium here compared to his competitors. 10 drivers still in this race, lap 13 out of 35. Similar to Germany, we have kind of lost 2 people out early, so the middle part of this race will be quite stagnant, considering the closest battle is the battle for 4th, so we will be keeping an eye on that. But hopefully like Germany, it starts kicking up a gear with the last stints, and hopefully we see some exciting racing. As Shari has had enough watching for today. Nick looking a little bit closer to Mandrop this time. He is in DRS range, and Hickster is actually not leaving Nick's side. Hickster does have DRS as well, so we might have the three-man battle team up again. As you can see, Nick is more visible clear to Mandrop, closer to Mandrop that is. Maybe these medium tyres are starting to die now. I did expect medium tyre runners to maybe pit in the next 3 to 4 laps here. As we see Mandrop go very, very wide. That's very dangerous from the racing point driver, considering we have seen Turn 4 take a lot of victims so far in this race. But yeah, we expect the medium tyre runners to potentially be heading into the pits in the next 3 or 4 laps to take the hard tyres. Up until the end of the race. Now this obviously maybe helps the hard tyre runners like your Nicks, like your Hicksters, possibly close in and gain some places to the likes of Ken Worthington and Mandrop. Mandrop kind of getting a little bit spooked there by Nick having a little look on the inside as he actually pits early to take the hard tyres. I mean, why not? If you feel like you're losing pace on these medium tyres, you take the pace advantage from the hards. So that elevates Nick up into 4th, Hickster 5th, Boswell is 6th, and I think Mandrop will be in front of Archer, or will be battling Archer come at this pit stop. So the fact that Nick maybe has been released from Mandrop there might help him start closing the gap to Silvers. Now the gap is 5.6 seconds between 3rd and 4th. Hickster is starting to get dropped just slightly, a couple of tenths last couple of laps. So hopefully he wants to try and stay in DRS as much as possible, even if it isn't the case that he can overtake. That's obviously not going to be the case heading into this lap. He wants to try and make sure, Hickster, that he can get the best of the tyres, especially if he's going to be entering these soft tyres come the end of this race. Now what does Ken Worthington do? Ken pits this lap as well, so actually medium tyres are running out quicker than my predictions, but obviously the hard tyres can make it to the end of the race. So that obviously elevates everyone up a position. We have, just to confirm, Mandrop was in front of Archer and has exited the pits in 7th. We have Bosnoy is actually in the pits from 6th. Ken Worthington leaves the pits and exits in 5th position. So we have a couple of people obviously taking, Silvers takes 3 second time penalty from himself. That's not going to work out in his favour, possibly the end of this race. So we just wait on the hard tyre runners to possibly make the pit stop, and that will be a while. We do expect the hard tyre runners to not be in at least in the next 10 lap or so. Maybe lap 27 is where we are expecting these hard tyre runners to come in. Nick is 5.9 seconds, so he's not gaining on Silvers by the look of it. Hicks are still staying in touch. We'll have to maybe look at the pace of Ken Worthington. Obviously with the fresh tyres, he might be in to have a look at maybe closing the gap to Rio here. Can't remember exactly what the gap was between himself and Rio before the pit stops. I will hazard the guess at a couple of seconds. So we'll have to keep an eye on that. Let's see if these fresh hard tyres can maybe do something. Obviously he is fast, he was 2nd when he did pit, so if he gets a fastest lap of the race this lap, that'll be a very, very good indication on whether these fresh hard tyres will be a good shout for this middle stint. Meanwhile, it looks like Archer finally has some company in this race, with Bosnoy's exiting the pits in 7th, only 3 seconds in front of Archer. Archer will be struggling come the end of this race, but I really do think he'll be able to make it to the end in tyres. if the F1 game information is correct. So we might see Archer as he gains the second time penalty. Again, I think I just seen a little bit of a wobble there from Archer. Living life a little bit dangerously there at Sun 4. But so far so good, and looks like so clean for our drivers. Nick really is now getting hammered down. He's gapped Hickster by margin. 3.3 seconds the gap. 4.9 between Silvers and Nick. Nick is catching. Nick is showing his pace on lap 18. Eventually, maybe needed time to get that clean lap in and get his confidence back up in the car. But has he left it a little too late? So the field's spread out very, very much. Ken Worthington, he's not put fast lap the racing, but I believe he's actually been closing the gap, not by much. I think he matched the pace of Rio, if anything, which isn't bad but not great either. The fresh tyres should be obviously helping him out, and that maybe explains, that maybe just emphasises the pace that Rio has, especially on these tyres. Let's see the gap across the line here between the battle for second. It's 4.4 seconds. So Nick's still reeling in Silvers for the time being, but is starting to. We're on the business end of this race now. 16 laps to go. We'll be running out of time. He needs to. Realistically, he needs to get himself maybe a couple of seconds closer. If he wants to maybe play it safe, a couple of seconds closer before the pit stops, and I think he'll maybe have a potential of getting a second place here. But it's Real's checked out. I would say it's his to win, but it's probably more his to lose. Considering again, though, I think the only opponent for Real currently this race will be the turn 4 corner, and hopefully he does not repeat the misfortunes of his McLaren teammate. But it looks like he's got himself calm and under control for the time being, as he enters pits lap 18 on the hard tyres. So maybe taking the medium tyres in until the end of the race. So maybe not opting for softs, as we see Silvers as well, and Nick. So okay. So maybe softs is not the answer at the end of this race. Nick pushing a little bit. So yeah, definitely mediums for everyone. We have Hickster entering the pits as well, and that allows Ken Worthington to possibly take the lead here. No, Rio takes keeps the lead. Only just though, but that's allowed Ken Worthington get close. Ken is on the wrong tyres compared to the others. Hickster has came out behind Mandrop, which is quite unfortunate. So it's been very good laps there from Mandrop actually. Maybe Hickster's caught up a little bit of damage there and he's had to change his wing because he lost a lot to Nick. 9 seconds difference, but Nick has gained dramatically here. 2.3 seconds. He's gained 2 seconds from a pit stop. So that really is going to be very good for our championship leader, especially coming into the end of this race. He might have a battle for potentially second here if both Silvers and Nick can get close to Ken Worthington. Now Ken Worthington has a gap of 5.5 seconds to Silvers. With 15 laps to go, anything is possible. But if anything, it looks like Nick is getting closer to Silvers and Silvers is getting closer to Ken. I think Silvers maybe made a mistake here. So the official gap between Mandrop and Hickster is 4.9 seconds now. Hickster needs to get a move on if he wants to challenge Mandrop here. Mandrop showing his pace in the hard tires isn't too bad. Boaz Noise and Archer still kind of battling out close together. Boaz Noise extending the gap. Archer going 18 laps on these tyres. Maybe he might think of doing a two stopper. It might take him behind lap taps. But I suppose he's in a position where what's the worst that can happen? It might lose a position, but the difference of 2 points isn't going to be massive here. So Rio, his pace is looking very good in these medium tyres. I will not be surprised to see a fast lap of the race as he exits turn 13 entering turn 14. 4 second gap between himself and Ken Worthington, considering Ken was only a second behind. Yeah, a 19.0 from Rio. Very, very good. As you see a yellow flag sector 2, and that's lap taps out of the Grand Prix. We are down to 9 drivers, and sector 2 obviously says to me that he has had damage, potentially once again at turn 4. Hopefully this car still shows as Rio crosses heading into turn 4, and yeah, the yellow flag is showing you. So turn 4 taking another victim. And yeah, you can see the debris on the left there. So we're down to 9. So we have Rio, Ken Worthington, Silvers, Nick, Mandrop, Hickster, Boaz Noise, Archer and Jaime still left in this race. Silvers now starting to close in on Ken Worthington, the gap 3.1 seconds. These medium tyres are now kicking into this Grand Prix big time. And unfortunately for Ken, I think he might be dropping down to at least 4th position, maybe 5th if Hickster pushes it. I doubt it very much. Hickster maybe get close to Ken, but again, anything can happen. So check the gap officially is 2.3 seconds between Ken and Silvers, and it is only 2.3 seconds between Silvers and Nick. So Nick not letting go of Silvers as of yet. He'll be kind of hoping that Ken is the cork in this potential bottle for the battle for second here, to maybe get a little bit closer to Silvers to challenge. There's still plenty of time obviously, and Silvers could easily make mistakes. Same with Nick, same with Ken Worthington. Especially with turn 4 claiming another victim, and that's as much as lap taps hit it twice. That's 5 incidents in total so far at turn 4. So we have Hickster slowly reeling in Mandrop. Gap is 3 seconds, make it 2.8 for the battle for 5th. So Hickster showing his face to Mandrop. Hopefully he can get close in the next couple of laps to him. Looks like Ken is really getting reeled in now. It won't be long until Silvers will be taking DRS off of Ken, and to be fair, I think Silvers and Nick have a better race pace on these medium tyres potentially. Maybe it's just Nick and 18.9. The gap between top 4 is now less than 10 seconds. Why is this important? Because Nick took 7/10 of a second off of Rio that last lap. If that pace continues, we might see a battle come the end of this race. I highly doubt it, but that maybe proves that some of the runners at the back still has pace. But we'll just wait and see. Ken Worthington pick a 3-second time penalty there. We'll just wait and see Rio post the fastest lap of the race in response. You can already see the gap is now back up to 10 seconds. Rio is wanting that bonus point. It looks like he will get it. Hickster, 3-second time penalty for himself. That might cause a little bit of effect between himself and Mandrop come the end of this race, but it looks like Rio will be posting the fastest lap of the race and taking back that bonus point if all stays the same. and of course he does. That's an 18.7 from real. Fastest lap of the race so far, and that extends the gap there. He's more or less put a second on Nick there. Silver's now, more importantly, he is almost in DRS range. He does not get DRS here, but he is in within a second now. Does he get DRS here by any chance? No, he does not. So he's at least closed up to Ken. This, again, as I mentioned, may work out for Nick here, as now there's no really overtaking opportunity for Silvers around this lap. So Ken will be the cork in this bottle for the battle for second now. So Nick has to take this opportunity, get close to Silvers, make sure he is in DRS range, because Silvers will pass as Archer picks 3 second time penalty for himself. Silvers will pass Ken at this lap. The pace of these hard tyres is unfortunately not strong enough heading into the second part of this race. We have Mandrop still in front of Hickster, less than 2 seconds now, so we might see an overtake happen from Hickster at some point now. Silver's all over the back, and it looks like Nick has not capitalised and got himself within a second of Silver's. That might be a potential thorn in his side if he wants to get second place. Now Silver's all over the back of Ken Worthington with the DRS, takes the outside line. Ken going well too deep, and that maybe puts him under pressure with Nick. No, Nick far to the back actually to make an impression here. But that Silver's up into second now. He's actually, as Real picks the 3 second time penalty for himself. Silver's he's been starting to get himself back into form. A little bit of bad luck obviously at the middle of the first half of the season. But he's starting to get himself back into form, so it's nice to see him up into second and getting another good result for the Mercedes team. We have Nick all over the back of Ken Worthington now. I think it's going to be inevitable. Also as well, Hickster and Mandrop. Hickster still not closing in actually. I think it might come down to if Mandrop makes a mistake or not, but Mandrop holding that 5th position well. We'll have to see if Nick can get past Ken around this lap. And again, the straight line of this Red Bull is not particularly strong, even with the DRS, so he needs to get a very good exit, which it looks like he has, and DRS has allowed him to easily pass Ken Worthington, as Ken goes a little bit laggy there. But Nick secures that 3rd position and now can chase Silvers, who hasn't really gapped Nick, considering he had that clean lap. So that might work in Nick's favour potentially. He is technically a second behind Silver, so a quick lap from Nick here can potentially get himself into DRS range. Other than that, the gap between the leaders, 9.2 seconds for real. He's at a stage where he can just really coast it around, so he's got that bonus point fastest for the fastest lap as well. As we see Mandrop pick a 3 second time penalty for himself, so I believe that's Hickster and Mandrop both picked up penalties for each other. So that maybe cancels out any advantage that Mandrop does have. Otherwise, further down the field, Boaz Norris having a quiet race, another good race from him. Archer probably struggling very much in these tyres. You can see the car just does not want to grip on this track. He's 24 laps in. I think if I was him, I would go for soft tyres and maybe try and get fastest lap here. He's got nothing to lose, especially if he's the worst he can do is 9th. He's got an 8 second gap to himself and Jaime. 12 seconds could be achievable, especially if he is on the soft tyres compared to the worn out harder tyres. So yeah, if I was Archer, I would pit now, go for the softs, but that's not the case. It looks like he might want to take that 8th place for himself, try and see if he can make it to the end. Now the gap between Silvers and Nick has closed. Nick has kept himself in DRS range from that last lap, and he's all over the back of Silvers. Ken Worthington has unfortunately been dropped. He will have It looks like a quiet fourth position, but a very, very good fourth position for Ken Worthington. Really deserves this result. Mandrop is starting to get close by Hickster now. Half a second has been taken since the last time I mentioned these two drivers, so we might see a little bit of a battle yet with these two guys, but it looks like it will be maybe Nick who will be the next person to make an overtaking opportunity here, heading out of turn 14. Silvers looks like he's had a very good exit. Same with Nick, but I was going to say straight line speed not good in the Red Bull, but it's maybe not the case here. Goes in the inside, DRS activated obviously, and that is a very clean move, but it looks like Silvers is starting to have a look around the outside, entering turn 2, maybe the inside here. Nick going a little bit wide here, trying to defend a little bit too hard, makes the move stick, and that is Nick up to second. Now I do expect maybe some back and forth between these two drivers. Pace wise they are very close to each other. As we see, Archer does enter the pits finally, so he will be jumping on the soft tyres, potentially going for the fastest lap of the race. Yeah, soft tyres guaranteed for him. So yeah, he's got nothing to lose personally. He can still catch Jaime. I think he still can. It's like 13 seconds with 6 laps to go. The natural pace of these softy hard delta is 1.9. You maybe add in an extra like half second onto the delta for the worn tyres of Jaime's car. So 2.5 seconds lap. If Archer can do 2.5 seconds lap, he's definitely got it. The question is, can he actually do it? Nick has actually managed to defend from Silvers, at least for this lap for the time being. 5 laps to go in this Grand Prix. So that's Archer starting his flying lap. Now he is 10 seconds behind Jaime, so that is very much achievable for Archer to maybe get the flying lap and take back his 8th position. It looks like Silvers is now starting to gap by Nick. Obviously DRS is going to help out tremendously in this, but Nick looks like he's had a very good exit there out of the last turn, and once again defends from Silvers. So Silvers is running out of time to get the move done. Maybe he's sandbagging a little bit to make sure that Nick maybe doesn't have the opportunity to pass him if Silvers were to go pass, take the position of second back in the next couple of laps or so. Let's have a look to see Archer's lap time or not. He's pushing it wide, he's trying to make sure that he gets his fastest lap of the race. But he's closing it in, he's closing it in. So let's see if Archer can do anything about this. I think it might be close. If he's not got the fastest lap of the race, I think he will be close in these soft tyres. And it's not a fast lap of the race. So that maybe helps reel out a bit. He keeps that bonus point for the time being. But for Archer, he is 9 seconds away from Jaime. So he's not actually closing as quickly as he would like. But Jaime does him a favour, and that's Jaime retiring from the session. Turn 4 takes another victim. 8 drivers remaining with 3 laps to go. That is so unfortunate for Jaime. So unfortunate. That's 4 drivers taken out. That's 6 incidents from turn 4, and that was different. That was guaranteed points. That's unfortunate. So Silver's still holding on to Nick. We actually have Hexter all over the back of Mandrop now for the battle for 5th position. So Hexter has finally caught up. The question is, can he overtake now? It seems like this Racing Point does have some pace, it's just unfortunately on the wrong tyres come the end of this race. 3 laps to go though, all Mandrop has to do is just defend for 3 more laps. That could be possible. But let's, speaking about defending, can Silvers do anything about Nick? He looks much more visibly closer since the last time we were on board with him. He looks like he will have a look round the outside of turn 1, not too close enough, but tries to switch it, hits the back of Nick. Is that wing damage at all for Shaddy? There was definite contact, but it looks like Shaddy has got away with that. No, Shaddy, that's Silvers, Ross. I'm an idiot, I do apologise. Silvers very lucky enough to not get any damage to that wing. And lives another day, I suppose, to fight Nick for this Grand Prix. Real 10 seconds now the gap. He's done very, very well to get himself back into the winner's circle if he continues leading this Grand Prix till the end. That is a 10th of a second between the Hexter and Mandrop. Hexter really, really gunning for this 5th place now. Looks like Hexter will possibly be close enough for DRS, but we're actually maybe go on board again with Silvers. Silver's not that close this time around, so 2 laps to go. He needs to get close to this lap if he wants to have an opportunity to pass Nick entering the final lap of the race. So time is definitely running out for Silvers. Hexter as well, to be fair. Can Hexter do anything about this? And it looks like, oh, that is just very unfortunate for Hexter there. That was a bad batch of oversteer, and that possibly has ruined his chance of 5th place here. Mandrop fighting for all his life. I say that Hexter will be very much close into the final lap of this Grand Prix, but that's one potential opportunity to overtake a miss, so he needs to perfect this final lap if he wants an opportunity for this 5th position. We have Silvers going gung-ho, picking up a 3-second time penalty, making sure he can get close to Nick. But I think Nick has this covered. Gap 9/10 of a second here. Nick has had a better lap, and I think Nick has covered 2nd place as Rio enters the final lap of the race here at the Hungarian. So yeah, the gap is just too big between Nick and Silvers, so it looks like Silvers, unless Nick makes a mistake, will be sitting pretty in 3rd. We have Archer, 3-second time penalty for himself. Now, what can Hexter do? Hexter's still sliding about on these tyres, he has no control. Maybe going on this a little far too early, and that is just allowing Mandrop to get a better exit round the back. Mandrop trying to break slipstream as much as he can. Very smart from the Racing Point driver, and he covers turn 1, and I think Mandrop has covered 5th position in this Grand Prix, so very well defended the last couple of laps for our Racing Point driver here, and Hexter going wing kind of confirms that Mandrop will be finishing this race 5th. So, heading into the last sector, the last couple of turns, it's been a very good performance from Rio. I wouldn't say naturally he would have been the winner, but attrition has helped him out immensely, and he takes the win of the Hungarian round 12 of the Hungary Grand Prix. Nick will hold on to 2nd from Silvers. Good results from both drivers there. Next across the line is Ken Worthington, a very good result as well for Ken Worthington, 4th. That's obviously going to be helping in the constructor battle with Toro Rosso, who is going to cross the line. It looks like Mandrop, as mentioned, has confirmed that 5th position. Maybe penalties might be the difference, but I think Mandrop has been lucky with penalties, and yet Mandrop is in front of Hexter. Hexter is 6th. 7th is Boaz Noyes. A very quiet race for the Sauber driver, but another point scoring position for him. And last but not least will be Archer. Unfortunately did not get the bonus point for fastest lap. That is held on for real in the Mercedes, but Archer does maintain his 8th place in the race. Fortunately, we have lost 4 drivers for today. Turn 4 seems to be the true winner of this Hungarian Grand Prix. I keep on saying Hungaro, it's the Hungary Grand Prix. Turn 4. So, the official classification of this result of this race. Real takes the victory and the bonus point for the fastest lap of the race. We have Nick in 2nd. We have Silvers in 3rd, Ken Worthington 4th, Mandrop in 5th, Hexter 6th, Boaz Noyes in 7th, Archer is 8th, Jaime did not finish unfortunately and does not pick up any points. Laptats in 10th also did not finish and won't pick up any points. We lost our 2nd place in the championship, Shadi, who will be out of out of a wins gap between himself and Nick. And we lost Schwab, who was leading the Grand Prix at the start of the race. Very unfortunate for some of these drivers, but a good result for real. So, another race completed, and we look on to the next race, which is the Belgian Grand Prix. Be similar to the actual real life calendar. We will take a break within this league, so the race will actually be held on the 21st of October on Monday, the Belgian Grand Prix, live from 10 to 8 BST. I'd like to thank everyone for watching, and I do apologise for the issues we had at the start of the race, and I shall see you guys in 2 weeks' time.